back, man. Welcome back to the Golden Goose DFS experience. I am your host, Chandler Blakely, aka Goose, man. We are the leaders in single entry 3 max and 20 max content. But listen, have no fear, man. If that's not your particular style of play, does not matter. It's still one of the best spots you can be in if you're playing NBA DFS, man. Trust me on this one. Just hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell on. You will not be sorry. Pardon me. Also, do me a small favor. Hit that like button for your boy, man. It helps the channel grow. It's greatly appreciated, and I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time here, this is my starting five, man. Where I bring you five plays that is more than likely gonna be in my player pool on DraftKings and FanDuel. All right, and I say more than likely just because if you're new to NBA, man, and if you don't know, there's always gonna be injury news throughout the day. Injury news before lock, injury news after lock. So you have to be paying attention. So whatever you see this morning or whatever you have in your mind this morning could be completely different by lock. So that's why I say more than likely in my player pool. All right, but we gonna get right into it for y'all. But before we do that, man, I got the lineup review going over my best lineup from yesterday's slate. All right. Listen, man, solid day on both sites yesterday. Doubled up my money, doubled up my buy-in across both sites. This is my best lineup over here on DK. This is the $1.20 max right here. 331, my highest scoring lineup on yesterday's slate. At the top, man, 24% on Dennis Schroeder. You saw me talk about him in yesterday's video. Great matchup here against the Atlanta Hawks. It was a high team total. He was solid here, 36 fantasy points. Wish he could have had a little bigger performance, but I'd take the 6X in this spot. 28% on Brandon Ingram right here. Once Zion got ruled out, man, all those Pelican guys got pretty chalky as well. They should, man, going against these Wizards here, and they blew the doors off of them. 28% on Brandon Ingram gave you 49 fantasy points. Very solid outing from him. Trey Murphy here at 5,200, 19% on, gave you right at 50 fantasy points as well. His ownership was a lot higher, I'm pretty sure, until they announced that he wasn't starting. That probably brought his ownership down. I told the gang, stay with him because I felt like he should see minutes regardless. I knew he was in line for minutes off the bench, and if it turned into a blowout, got ugly, whatever, he could only see an increased minutes working his way back from injury. So we were still on Trey Murphy regardless of the fact that he wasn't starting. He came through for us. Kevin Love right here, 14% on, just trying to get different. I had some interest in these Miami guys going against Charlotte as well, as that team is shorthanded, up-paced matchup for him. Got to Kevin Love, like I said, only 20 fantasy points for him, let us down. Got a little cute here with Gafford playing around with the center, man, 3% on, but he came through for us, 27 fantasy points. Not a huge day, but he was solid enough and didn't kill us. Ultimately, I just did not have enough Giannis yesterday, man. I got to Trae Young. I told the gang I liked Trae Young yesterday. I was on him, but just did not get to enough Giannis. I think I might have had like one or two Giannis lineups, and you really needed them on yesterday's slate with that almost 100 points out of them. Had Derrick Rose right here. 14% on. Just took a couple shots once we seen he was in the starting lineup when Bane was ruled out. I got to know too much Noel too. That hurt me too. With Bane being out, even though Derrick Rose was starting, I didn't think they haven't been playing on big minutes. So I thought Jalen Noel would definitely get more minutes, more run off the bench, and have a better game. But that play hurt me too. Had too much exposure to him in my player pool. But Derrick Rose was solid, 35 fantasy points. Wembanyama, man, I told you on the video yesterday, I love the matchup for him, love the spot. He came through with a big game for us, 68 fantasy points, man. Big double-double here, 30 points, 13 boards, man. Throwing in 6 blocks and 3 steals as well. Big game from Wembanyama, man. He seemed to get up for these big matchups. Now, I'm telling you now, he had a big game when he played KD. Came back and played AD, had a nice game. I think when he played these superstars, he tends to get up for the game a little more. So I'm going to keep an eye on that as the season goes on. But Wembanyama came through for the 13% on. And then J-Val, I talked about him yesterday on the video as well. I told you I liked him regardless. And if Zion was out, I was going to love him. That's what happened. Zion ruled out. I had plenty of J-Val. He had a nice big game for us. Like I told you, should have a rebounding edge. Big double-double, 16 points, 18 boards. That worked out well for us. Valanciunas at 40% on, all right? Let's go look at FanDuel. Keeping it light on FanDuel. I told you I just be doing single entries over here. So this is the $10 single entry. Came in seventh and third place, and you can see at the top my boy Trey Young got him at 3% on. I don't know why nobody was really on him. This Atlanta Toronto game had like the second highest game total on the slate. It wasn't that Bucks Pacers game, but the guys in this game was priced a little bit better, and it was a high total, so you could get to him. I like Trey Young. He came through for us at 63 fantasy points. What hurt me over here was Dyson Daniels and Buddy Hield, man. Definitely could have had a much bigger day over here, but they let me down. Dyson Daniels pivoted to him once he got ruled in the starting lineup. I forget who I had right here beforehand, but probably should have stayed there. Dyson Daniels only 16 fantasy points at 27% on. Buddy Hield, man, couldn't really all this scoring, and Buddy Hield didn't contribute to none of it, man. 266 points, and Buddy Hield only gave you 7 real life points. I thought it was the environment. Well, it is the environment for him. He just couldn't get his shot to fall, could not get it going. Only 13 fantasy points hurt us right here. Got to some Chris Middleton, man, knocking on the door, 40 right here at 8% on. Trey Murphy once again, 49 burger from him at 21% on. Brandon Ingram, 49 at 45% on. Pascal Siakam, another 50 piece. But if you did not have that Giannis, if I could have got Trey and Giannis paired together in this lineup, I think that's what the winning lineup had. That's what we needed over here. You know what I'm saying? Look, Giannis gave you Ingram and Siakam score combined, man. He had a monster night, but Caleb Martin let me down as well at 28%. Went back to the well with him. Great matchup against the Hornets. Like I said, I got to all those Heat guys. I was getting to some Hawkins. He was the better play. Got to some Martin. Got to some Butler. Just mix and matching those Heat guys. And Caleb Martin hurt me here at 28% on only 21 fantasy points. And then Jay Valley at the bottom once again. Pushing 60% ownership, but gave you 44 fantasy points here. All right. There you have it. Like I said, overall good day on DraftKings and FanDuel. But let's get to today's slate and what we came for. At the top, point guard, going right back to my guy, De'Aaron Fox. Listen, this is the highest total game on the slate by like 13 points, something like that. By easily higher than the next closest game. You're going to want to get pieces to this game right here. I think it definitely is going to be a high-scoring affair. I'm going back to my boy De'Aaron Fox, but definitely mix and match all the pieces of this game, man. You want to attack this Thunder Sacramento Kings game. We've seen this story play out before this season. You seen it last night with the Bucks Pacers game being the highest total game, and it's just going crazy. Not saying this game is going to do that, but you see the total on the game, man. You know the possibility for fireworks is there. Get you some pieces of this game. Don't play with yourself. I like De'Aaron Fox at 9,600. Come in and shooting guard. Now, this Utah guys, let's just talk about the next two players. Colin Sexton and Taylor Horton-Tucker. Now this could vary. We definitely gonna need that starting lineup, but the Jazz are extremely short-handed. We saw Keontae George get hurt last game, so they will be without Keontae George, without Clarkson, without Jordan Clarkson. They get Markkanen back last game, but he's still on a minutes limit. So Colin Sexton saw the bulk of the run when George went out. I'm pretty sure he is going to be in the starting lineup at 5,700, but I don't know about Taylor Horton-Tucker. They could go this route. They need the backcourt could either be Sexton and Taylor Horton-Tucker, or they could bring Dunn into the starting lineup. It could be Sexton and Dunn. So I'm going to have to see how this starting lineup works out, but definitely got my eye on these two. Taylor Horton-Tucker definitely should see increased minutes regardless of whether he starts or not, but I want the two starters here. So for the purpose of this video, it's Sexton and Taylor Horton-Tucker right now, but if they go with Dunn and Sexton in the backcourt, I would easily pivot over to that. But I like this Utah Jazz backcourt and whatever starting against these Portland Trail Blazers. The defense is not there for the Blazers. You can play teams against them. This is another game environment that's going to be pretty good for fantasy on this slate. So I'm looking at Sexton, I'm looking at Taylor Horton-Tucker, looking at Chris Dunn, just waiting on the starting lineup. I'm not going to have a problem getting any one of those two guys back there. I think Sexton is for sure the locked in starter. We just got to see with Dunn and Taylor Horton-Tucker, but they're going to be in play for me regardless going against these Trailblazers. So just keep an eye on that and know we're going to adjust accordingly, all right? Coming in at the power forward, man, definitely want to look at Kawhi Leonard. Anticipating Paul George being out in this spot. Hurt his groin last time. Really hurt my lineup too as well, as he only played 16 minutes. I don't see why they'll need to rush him back, especially with this Golden State Warriors franchise who is unraveling before our eyes, so to seem, man. Steph Curry upset at everybody. Draymond suspended indefinitely. Just look like they're falling apart and their run is about over, man. But give me Kawhi Leonard to go on and finish him on off tonight at 8,700. No Paul George. It definitely should mean more scoring opportunities for him and James Harden. I want to get to some of these Clipper guys as well with them being down Paul George. Hopefully they don't put Westbrook into the starting lineup, but they may. We shall see. Give me Kawhi Leonard at 8,700 though. Definitely should be more shots, more creation opportunities for him here with no Paul George. And at the center spot, I want to look at Chet Holmgren. Like I said, I'm going to attack this Thunder Kings game like most people are. You're going to find a way to get different. I think Holmgren can be one of the lower owned pieces on this Thunder side here. I like getting to him in this matchup. Tough matchup down low, having to bang with Sabonis, but Sabonis liking to work his way inside out, and star point guard and Fox, who like to drive and get to the cup, could lead to some more shot blocking opportunities for Chet Holmgren. And you know he's a big man. He should be live for a double-double every time he steps in the gym. If he can get that shot going, he can have a big one here for us. He's a rookie, man. Like I said with Wembanyama yesterday, you're going to have to deal with the ups and downs. You're going to have games where he give you 45, 50. You're going to have games where he give you 30, 35. So just got to deal with those up and downs. But I'm definitely taking a shot on Chet Holmgren, especially given this matchup in this spot right here. There you have it, man. Your starting five for DraftKings: De'Aaron Fox, Colin Sexton, Taylor Horton-Tucker, Kawhi Leonard, and Chet Holmgren. Get you some exposure to these guys. Get them in your player pools. They for sure gonna be in mine, all right? Let's go look at FanDuel and see what I'm liking over there. If you haven't hit that like button, man, what are you waiting on, all right? FanDuel, you see it at the top, man. James Harden, 8,100. Want to take some shots on him as well. Listen, no Paul George is going to open up the offense for James Harden and Kawhi Leonard. They both should see increased usage. Both should has a possibility of see more shots. James Harden, when he feel like being aggressive and scoring. That's why I like Kawhi. I prefer, if you want to know my preference between the two, is Kawhi. But I like James as well. It just James takes a backseat sometimes offensively and just distributes and doesn't want to get the shots up. But if he's aggressive offensively and looking to score, he can really give you a big one here. I'm hoping he does a little more of that with no Paul George, as his scoring will be a little more needed. So I like James Harden at 8,100 going against these Warriors. At the shooting guard, looking at Chris Dunn. Listen, like I just said, even if he doesn't start, man, he should see even more playing time with them being down both of their backcourt guards over there. Chris Dunn has been solid the last two outings. In just 17 and 18 minutes, he's giving you 20 fantasy points. He's a guy who's contributing when he gets the minutes. Hey, pardon me. He's a guy who's contributing when he's getting the minutes, and he should see more minutes here in this spot with no Clarkson and no Keontae George. I like Chris Dunn at 4,400 as well. Just make sure you get that starting lineup, gang. At the small forward, I want to look at Jalen Williams. I'm going to attack this Thunder Kings game with all different pieces from all different angles. I like Jalen Williams here at 7K as well, man. He's another guy who's up and down, but he's a bit of a creator, especially when SGA is not out there. I like Jalen Williams here in this spot at 7K. He's a guy that can fill up the stat sheet for you, and if he got his scoring going, that's when you get those monster games. But he has many paths to success here. That's why I like getting him. Plus, it's a great matchup with these Kings. Give me Jalen Williams at 7K. At the power forward, I want to look at Karl Anthony Towns here, 8,500. Still should be without Anthony Edwards here in this spot. Now, if Anthony Edwards plays, I will probably fall back off of this Karl Anthony Towns. But as long as Anthony Edwards is out, man, I like taking a shot on Karl Anthony Towns here against the undersized Mavericks front court down there. He should be guarded by Grant Williams, and he just should be undersized to contend with Karl Anthony Towns. Just height-wise. He has the bulk-wise. He can kind of bang with him a little bit down there, but Towns should be able to just rise up and shoot over him and have his way down there with this smallest Dallas front court. Lively's going to be dealing with Gobert over there. I think Karl Anthony Towns gets in and puts up a big one if Anthony Edwards is out. I like looking at Karl Anthony Towns at 8,500. And then you already seen it at the bottom. I'm going to look at Sabonis. A little cheaper than Fox over here on FanDuel. And like I said, man, you just want to attack this Thunder Kings game, man. You probably going to need a couple plays from this game. The trick is going to be getting the right ones. I like getting a Sabonis. He should have a nice battle down there with Chet Holmgren, but it's a battle he's perfectly capable of winning. I think he's going to give, and it's going to be a give and take between him and Chet Holmgren. I like Sabonis down here. He's has a size advantage on him, not height-wise, but just weight-wise and physicality-wise. He may be able to put him under the basket, but it should be an interesting battle and a great game that I can't wait to watch, all right? There you have it, man. Just starting five for FanDuel. Domantas Sabonis, Karl Anthony Towns, Jalen Williams, Chris Dunn, and James Harden. Get you some exposure to these guys. Get them in your player pools. They for sure going to be in mine, all right? That's going to do it for us here today, man. Y'all know the motto. Chances make champions. Y'all green up. I'll catch y'all next time, all right? Let's get it.